Good afternoon everyone, and thank you very much for joining us. My name is Sam Stafford and I'm joined by my colleague Andrew Hansen. Welcome to the first session in our new webinar programme. Today's subject is tips and tricks using Creo 4.0, our latest version. The aim of the session is to give you some pointers around the new capabilities in Creo 4. This in turn will help you develop products more efficiently and use your time more productively. The webinar is being recorded and the link will be sent to you later on today. The session will last for around 25 minutes. We'll set around 5 minutes at the end of the presentation for answering any of your questions. We invite you to submit your question during the session rather than wait until the end. If we do run out of time to answer all questions, then we'll contact you directly. I will now hand over to Andrew, who will be taking you through the Creo 4 tips and techniques.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Sam. So my name is Andrew Hansen and I'm a technical specialist here at Concurrent Engineering, and I'll be taking you through some of the tips and tricks for Creo 4, what's new, and also some functionality that's been there that can help you be more productive and efficient. So what we're going to be showing you is these 7 tips. We'll be looking at how you can use the screen real estate by working in full screen mode, making it very interactive and a more immersive environment. How to get the most out of those used tools that you use all the time by customizing your on-screen mouse clicks. How you can get your designs out quicker with the improved Sketcher capabilities and workflows that are there to support this environment. Tip 4, we'll be looking at easier to assign materials and working in that environment. And the last 3 tips, very important capability that's been within the software to support you developing your products for a while now, whether that is through the use of embedded MathCAD worksheets to capture and document your design intent, using the in-context help that's supported by using the PTC Learning Connector, and also giving you that capability to make clearer, informed decisions by reviewing and making a choice upon what have you done with changes in your session. So as I'm sure you're all looking and waiting for, is let's go in to actually see the software and go through these tips. So here we're going to start off within Creo 4 and we're going to be working on this and this assembly as we go through. As we can see, the environment is all there, the usual and familiar interface. If we want to work within full screen and actually start to use that screen real estate to give us great visibility, I can select F11, which takes me into the full screen mode. Here we can see as I've still got full capability of working with the model, but I don't lose any of that functionality I'm used to. So just by moving my mouse up to the top, I get access to my familiar ribbon interface where I can access my tools. By moving my mouse to the left, I have access to my model tree where I can navigate through my model as required. But PTC have introduced into the software a great capability to help us avoid that mouse travel where necessary. And this is by introducing more control with the mouse clicks. So some of the features we'll see is I can select this datum plane, and a nice new tool here is zoom to selected. So we have new context sensitive menus that just by selecting them will give you this option. Here I can say zoom to that selected datum plane, takes me into that immersive environment for me to actually see it. If I pick an edge, the software recognizes that that edge is this particular feature and it gives me a set of tools I might want to do with that edge, as well as it recognizes that it is part of a part and hence I can activate it. So let's activate it and work. Here we can see easily works in this environment, great immersive environment for me to work with. As you'll see as we go through this will be a consistent user interface as I go through the next few tips, but hopefully you can see here is how working in full screen makes this a great use of the software. I want to start extruding. So I can pick a datum plane, and again, these menus are available of what might you want to do with the datum plane. I might want to view normal to it, and I might want to extrude. In this case, I want to start extruding some geometry. So just by selecting extrude, this takes me straight into the Sketcher environment where I can carry on working in that environment. So now let's have a look at Tip 2. So how you can get the most out of the tools that you use. So to support these left and right click options, PTC have introduced into the ability for users to be able to customize their environment. Here, when I go into customize, this gives me the capability to modify what I might actually want. Whether it is by me actually selecting and dragging out these particular environments. So for example, I don't want centerline, I don't want delete segment. We can see how this modifies and updates automatically. It also enables me to put in particular features that I might want. So for example, I can go and find that particular feature or tool and simply drag and drop it to where I want in that interface. I can reorganize these for the order in which I might want them. And a nice one I'll be introducing here is clip model. This is a nice new feature that is great to use. We'll see that coming up in the next bit. So just by me simply selecting OK, I have now configured my right-click options with those options that I actually need for my tools when I'm working. And it remembers those into your next session. So that was tip 2, making it very easy in order for you to customize your mouse click options and giving you, the user, the power to work as you see fit. So let's look at actually creating the actual models, the actual features here. One of the nice new tools I mentioned earlier on was this capability to clip the model. So you noticed I picked a datum plane to do my extrude. As soon as I select the clip model, it takes me back to that particular datum plane by clipping the visualization of what's there. This makes it easier for me to actually pick references and work in that environment. So here I can go through and I can actually model it. Another great capability that introduces us to tip 3 is how to get your designs out quicker with the improved Sketcher capabilities. And to start us off with that is automatic references. I don't need to pick my references, but just by hovering over entities, Creo will now present me with a list of references available for me to work with. Here, by selecting this circular arc, it's presented me with the edge as well as the center point. So let me pick the center point and let me model my particular shape. Very quick and simple when working in this environment. Again, when creating this line, I might want it to reference the top of this plate. It's currently not a reference. Just by hovering over it, the software presents it to me as a reference for me to actually work with, and this has added it to the references table within the software. You can see as I'm working also that it's presenting me with the tangent notification so I can snap to how I want it to be. We saw those tools that I created earlier on. So here, delete segment. I just go in and delete that segment. I knew this was coming up, so it's the most commonly used tool I use. Let me just change some dimensions to make this the size I want it to be. And complete that feature. So here we can see is actually working within this environment is that the software is quick and easy, particularly combined with those customized mouse clicks, the improved Sketcher capability, and the full screen, how quick and easy it is now to create your models and get involved in the design. Now back to the 3D level, some of the more improved workflows that are behind there is the ability for me to actually create my extrudes, but work in different ways. So here is I can use my traditional drag handles to a particular reference. And something new within Creo 4 is the ability to offset your extrude in 2 directions at the same time. So this is very powerful, particularly when you need to create a datum plane or an additional feature to do the sketch. So here I'm going to offset that same extrude, but in the same direction. This is both adding and subtracting material at the same time, meaning I don't need to create additional features, i.e. an additional datum plane in this case, for me to actually create that feature. It is offset. If I say OK. Model very quickly and easily created. And one of the things that's really nice and powerful is these right-click options that you saw is they're configurable. It's depending on what you select will depend on what is made available to you. If I select this surface, I get a set of options of what I might want to do with the surface. If I pick an edge, it gives me the options of what I might want to do with an edge. And again, each of these can be customized. But one of the things is always selecting the feature you want. I've picked an edge, and a great new tool is this select from parents. Here we can see this gives me a tree of the features right from that geometrical reference all the way up to the assembly. And just by hovering over them, it will preview what that particular component is, whether it's the part or the sub-assembly or even the top-level assembly. In this case, I want to mirror the extrude. So I can easily select my extrude and say I want to mirror this around the datum plane. And in a couple of clicks, that feature is easily mirrored and created. Improved working workflows within that environment. Now I've done something in a top-down design, maybe I want to detail this a bit more. So let's look at it in the part level. I'm going to pick the surface, need to navigate up to pick the model, and again, different features when working with the model for me to open it. So for the purpose of the next stage of this demonstration, we'll just work within the context of the familiar environment where I've got my ribbon and my model tree available for me to see. Let me change my view back to shading with edges, make it a bit more engineering, a bit more easier just to follow at this stage. So as you can see here, this model is brought down. I just want to finish off this model by creating some more features. The first thing is, let me do an extrude off this datum plane. And again, following those same capabilities you saw earlier on, is I might want to model a rectangle, and it automatically, again, snaps to those references if I choose them to. Easy to model, very quick and simple. A very simple rectangle. Now, one of the things that has been introduced within the software is the ability to offset at the same time. So here I have selected it to this particular reference, but maybe I want it to be offset by a certain amount. I don't need to create additional features to do this. This is all part of the same feature now. So here under options, I can actually say I want to actually extrude and offset. When I do this, I can enter in a value of 0.1, for example. And let me finish off this feature by doing it on the other side as well. So there you can see hopefully how quick and easy it is now to create a feature such as that within a couple of clicks. Another powerful tool is the selection capability that's been improved. So if I wanted to round all these edges, is I can simply select my geometry filter to edge, and just by dragging a box, which is by default now enabled, it selects all the edges within that box. With them selected and my nice new customizable right-click options, I can say I want to round all those edges and let me give them a specific value. So here you can see this model has been quickly created and modeled in fewer clicks and quick time for you actually generating it. So that was tip 3, how to get your designs out quicker with the improved Sketcher capabilities and the workflows that are available to you. Let's take a look at a very quick and simple important feature, is materials. So within Creo 4, PTC have introduced that materials are now in your model tree. So here in my model tree, we can see that materials are there straight away. Well, this gives me the capability to actually modify them. So straight within that environment, I can now edit my materials. Here we can see this information has been brought into a single window. What I can see is I have my legacy materials, for those of you who are used to the familiar environment, but also PTC have partnered with Granted Design, an industrial, worldwide known company for managing their own materials. And if I go into these, here we can see as I have them at different levels. So here for my ferrous materials, I can have cast steel, for example, low alloy. And these are certified materials, which means that the values are available. Within this window, just by selecting them, we can see how it's easy to see those values in one environment. I'm just going to leave it as steel high carbon for this one and say OK. So very easy to modify and assign materials. And that was tip 4. Another nice feature that is available within Creo is the ability to document your design intent using MathCAD. Now I'm sure some of you have heard of it or even used it out there. One of the things that not many people realise is how it can be embedded within your actual Creo model itself. So some of you may have noticed that within here I have this actual MathCAD icon at the top. This is telling me that this particular model, that some dimensions are driven by a MathCAD worksheet. So let's see how that is actually working in the background. So to start us off, I want to actually, let's just check a measurement of something here. So I'm going to measure the thickness of this particular plate. Now, tick my two references, and it's saying it's 0.31 inches, which is great. But the design intent that drives why is that 0.31 inches may be due to the surface area and the amount of force that's required. How do I capture that today? In another worksheet, in another document, for example. But with embedded MathCAD worksheet, just by simply selecting this icon, is here I have a documented process and document that actually captures what is actually going to work it out. Here we can see it's doing a plate thickness analysis, and I can see where I actually have these fields where it says in, which means that these dimensions and values are driven from the actual model, as well as it's going to output the plate thickness back to my model, and we'll see how that will update. So here we can see it's already been calculated to be 0.31 inches, and another great capability of MathCAD is seeing that multi-unit conversions, so I can also see it in millimeters as well. For example, I need to change the design of my model, and here I need to say, well, instead of it being 125 kilonewtons, it now needs to support 150. Of course, MathCAD updates, it's done those calculations in the background, so now the plate thickness is 0.51 inches. Just by me simply closing this down, I have the option then to push those values back into my model to update. So I want to do that because I need to update my model to that new thickness. I'm going to say save and OK. By doing that, the geometry has been pushed back, and here we can see, hopefully, that the model has got thicker. So just to check that, I'll just do another quick measure. And here we'll see now is that the thickness is now 0.51. So MathCAD, embedded within Creo, helping you to document your design intent, is a very powerful tool to control your calculations. So that was tip 5. Something that's really powerful as well that's within the software is the ability to do in-context help. So within Creo comes the capability of the learning connector. So here at the top I simply select my little mortar board, and this connects me to the PTC learning connector. As we can see, this nicely places itself down the right-hand side, making it easier for me to work. And what this does is this presents me with recommendations and tutorials within the PTC Creo environment. And this is actually very capable, is that it updates based on what I actually do within the software. So for example, I'm going to select this round 2 feature, and I might want to say I want to delete it. Just as soon as I've picked delete, that PTC Learning Connector is updated, and based on my selection, it has come back with some recommendations. For example, how to handle the children of deleted and suppressed items. This is connected straight to PTC University as well. So just by selecting that particular feature, that particular recommendation, it takes me to the actual learning module and the item about it. So I can learn about what happens when I delete things in this particular instance. Very quick and easy to work. I'm just going to say OK for now because I do actually want to delete that feature. Let's go back to the home page. So again, an immersive environment, a great tool to use, in-context help using the PTC Learning Connector for you. So as I've been working through this environment, I've made some changes to this model. I've deleted some features as you just saw. I've done some MathCAD modifications to the actual thickness. I've even created some features. How can I actually check or have an overview of what's actually been changed within there? So tip 7 is how to make clearer, informed decisions by reviewing your in-session changes. And this is very easily done. It's just by selecting my model is I have this tool called View Changes. As soon as I select View Changes, this gives me a colour feedback of what has been changed, what has been amended, what has been deleted. And here we can see is in this session, I have a colour-coded environment. I can easily see all those features, and we can see the colour code against them. So I can see that Extrude 2, and just by selecting the feature, it highlights it in that graphical environment for me to see. You know, Extrude 3, I can also see what's been deleted. So there was a round, and it gives me a preview of where it was previously, as well as what has been modified. So here, my parameters from MathCAD, my plate length, my plate width, very powerful within there. This is in turn updated the Extrude and the round that supports it. So information easily available that makes you have clear, informed decisions by reviewing the in-session changes that you have actually made. So hopefully you've seen from that session there, here's some nice improvements, some tips, some tricks to help you make the best value out of what's within Creo 4. So at this stage, I'd just like to pass you back to Sam, who'd like to present you with tip number 8.
Okay, so tip number 8, the final tip is for those of you who are running on subscription licenses of Creo Essentials. These subscriptions now come with both the Design Exploration extension and the Human Factors extension included. Design Exploration enables quick and easy investigation of alternative concept designs within the parametric environment. It uses checkpoints to eliminate the need to manage multiple versions of data and allows you to move easily between design branches. The Human Factors supports human-centric design by enabling you to visualize, simulate, and optimize human product interaction. The subscription licenses also come with access to the complete PTC e-learning library, which you saw examples of within Andrew's presentation. You also gain access to home use licenses and the use of the Performance Advisor. To get access to these on your subscription license, simply request a new license file today. Andrew will now give a brief summary of the presentation.
Thank you for that, Sam. So hopefully you found tip number 8 useful. And just in summary around Creo 4. So we see Creo 4 as the future of product design. And with this new immersive environment, it's to help you think differently about the way in which you're doing it. So remember those 7 tips. Is use the screen real estate and work in full screen mode. And these are supported by giving you the capabilities to get the most out of those tools that you use by customizing your mouse click options. With the improved workflows, you can now get your designs out quicker with improved sketcher capabilities. And as everything is now on screen, it's easier for you to assign your materials as well. Some of those nice enhancements and capabilities within the software as well. So document, update, and capture your design intent using the powerful embedded MathCAD worksheets that are available to you. Also call upon Precision LMS and University using the in-context help that helps you use the learning connector that presents you with that information depending on the feature that you're actually working with. And be able to make those clear, informed decisions by reviewing what has actually changed in your session of Creo by being able to see those. So hopefully you found that useful.
Thank you all for participating. We hope you really enjoyed the session. We're always open to hearing more from you about the content of the sessions that we run, so if there's anything you'd like to see covered in future, please let your account managers know. As part of our new program, we have a lot of exciting webinars up and coming, so please be sure to keep your eyes open for these. Again, thank you very much for participating. We hope you have a great day.